Ilia obviously looking like the favorite. The pros are saying this could be a very, very, very bad night for Justin Gaethje. But let's break it down a little bit further. Justin Gaethje, obviously a durable, aggressive fighter. And still quite calculated. A lot of people see him being so aggressive and think he's just going to be so open for Ilia. Charles is more aggressive than Justin Gaethje. Charles, I could see him when they would get into the fight, just swinging, not being too defensive, putting pressure on, ready just for pure offense. Justin Gaethje has a lot of offense, very aggressive, but he will still try and put himself in defensive positions. He will shell up. You'll see him sometimes get into a big shell, which I think I've seen some people bring up and be like, this is a big problem. It can be a big problem. But for Ilia's going to be a big problem if you are trying to pressure fire shots and leaving your chin out there for him to just counter and put one on you. If Justin Gaethje is getting in a position like doing a big kick and then being very defensive and shielding right up, does that leave very easy open doors for Ilia? No, not really. I feel like if he has the right approach in how he comes forward on Ilia, whether he does want to pressure him but be very, very defensive, knowing that how sharp Ilia is, one false move can really put your lights out. But can I put the pressure on and be very defensive while I do so and find shots while being defensive? Does that keep me that little bit safer the whole way through? Yes. So you'll see Paddy Pimblett, Gaethje did a decent job of, well, Ilia's a lot more dangerous than Paddy Pimblett, but you've seen him sometimes really, really just shell up and just stand right in front of him shelling up. Again, there's open doors for kicks. There are ways to get around it. There are maybe some uppercuts and things like that. But is this going to be Ilia Topuria's money shots? Is Ilia going to be comfortable to just stand in front of you and look for just, you know, big knees up the middle, big uppercuts? You know, he does like a body rip. But will he like to just stand in front of you in a sort of in the pocket and just trade off there? Not so much. Ilia does a great job of being pretty defensive, putting himself in a position, countering, you know, while being defensive at the same time. So Gaethje, I think, being defensive, coming forward with his maybe trying to come forward, pressure, really shield up, not giving easy options for Ilia, is going to be his approach. I've seen him sort of do that, and I think he's going to know he needs to do that. Can Ilia still find his shots when, you know, just jab, even if he's just hitting the shield, and then as soon as Gaethje decides to go, just countering him straight away? Yeah, he's got a great eye. He's very sharp, and he's got powerful. And if he does do that, he can put his lights straight out. It just depends what Gaethje turns up. If he's overly aggressive, thinking that I need to just take my chance straight away, he could maybe get the shot, but he could be lights out very, very quick. If he's quite defensive, I think he can get longer in them rounds, get deeper into them rounds and not give Ilia as much of an opportunity to land them big shots. So I think the big shield is going to be an option for him that you will see. I've seen it in a few of his fights. He's going to need to be quite heavy with that because Ilia won't just stand in front of him and just trade and just let Gaethje have a chance to, you know, to fire as well. If he was to just stand in the pocket and just try and find holes while he's standing in front of him, he's obviously leaving himself open. Ilia won't like to do that. Let's talk about some good things that Ilia will do. Ilia likes to back you up, pressure you, put you in a position closer to the cage. He likes to get you out, you know, inside that black line, closer to the cage. Obviously, to take away your backward movement. You no longer have anywhere to go. So you're going to have to pick which side to go. He usually forces you to a side. He likes to force you to his right hand. Here's something that he did well. Like I would know he would go that way, but I don't mind going to the power side because I usually like to be just outside that power hand. I don't like to stand right in front of the power hand. I don't mind being just on the edge, if not too far away, where they have to try and drift themselves across, which can be very, very, very hard. And a little key thing in that fight, something that he did differently to what I've seen. Like a lot of times he likes to stand in front of you and have shots. He doesn't usually like to, because Ilia talked about, you know, was it the 1 and 2s that he was going to get me with? It was the 3s, 4s and 5s is where he got me. When he banged that up, he was right. You know, the 1s and 2s weren't really there, but the 3, 4, 5s in that combo were. But I did a decent enough job to get myself outside his right hand. But here's something where he did a great job. If you will see him, he comes forward. I start drifting too far across. If he was to just continue that combo, I'm too far off to the right. He did a great job of mid-combo, shuffling laterally to get his base, and then just ends up catching me. I end up countering. We both stand in front of each other. We both fire. I end up copping the shot. So he did something that he didn't really do too much. I haven't seen too much of that. Maybe he didn't have the opponent that could laterally move like myself. So maybe you didn't get a chance to see that, because a lot of his stuff was usually more in and out, more in a straight line. You're starting to see it a little bit more now, probably because of the higher caliber of fighters. You're starting to see his good angles as well. He's creating great angles, mid-combo, getting himself to a position and then just bombing them, or pulling himself outside a position and then bombing them. I'll bring up another one in a second. With myself, again, did a great job of getting to me. I start circling and then drifting laterally to get in front of you, and again stuck on the cage where I felt like I had to counter, and then both just went bang. So this was something that I haven't seen in him before, and he did a great job and a good adjustment, because his first few combos earlier in the fight, he was, they weren't there. So you'll fire, I'd miss, and I'll be gone. Then he did the great job of cutting me back off, shuffling, which was, again, a great adjustment that he did, that I haven't seen before. Another thing that he did great with Charles Oliveira. Gaethje is going to be very defensive. Can I fire something, get myself out, draw something out of my opponent, and then bomb him? If he's going to be very defensive, I want to force him to jab. I want to force him to fire that right hand that I can slip and counter with the big right hand. Did this great with Charles Oliveira. He was getting pressured, wanted to draw the punches out of him, jabs to the gut and pulled himself out. Didn't really get the reaction the first time. Does it again. Drawing Charles. After that jab, wanted to come in front of him, had to sort of hop to him first to get in the range where he wants to fire. As he was hopping, went to fire his right hand and like sort of done a V sort of step. Like he sort of jabbed at the right hand and put himself outside that right hand range or line and just sat Charles right in front of his right hand. Great setup. Great setup. Jabbed at him, pulled him, sat straight into the right hand. That was all she wrote. He obviously landed the big right hook as well, left hook as well. Didn't need to, he was already out. And I believe that's something that he would have worked on. He knows that Charles likes to hop himself in. He'll hop himself in range and just bob. It's quite aggressive. So he was trying to counter him when that would happen. He got caught early in that fight with an elbow when Charles hopped in and then he went to counter, but the right elbow got him. And he was sort of in front of Charles. The second, at the end of the fight, he sort of did the similar thing where rather than Charles just coming aggressively, hit him, pulled himself out, got him aggressive, but then made sure he was outside. If Charles wanted to land that right elbow or land the right hand, he sat himself that little bit too far outside of that right hand for Charles to land, but can just jam that right hand straight down while his head's off center. Incredible, beautiful takedown. Is this the type of stuff he's going to need with a Gaethje? Jab, pull himself out, thinking that, the combo's done. Gaethje's going to be like, I'm going to chase him. I'm going to chase him now. He's finished his combo. This is my opportunity. And then counter. Is it going to be that type of approach? Knowing that he's going to shell up when I jab at him or when I fire at him. He's going to shell up, not fire something. Maybe he'll try and get me on the exit. And then maybe counter. Sort of what he did with Charles there. Or is he going to, while he's shelled up, go for the body, leg kick, or maybe just start smashing the leg kick, not fully committing, knowing that I might be getting baited here. I might be in a vulnerable position where, I might not get no clear shots that's going to get me the finish, and now I'm leaving myself open, but a leg kick might be the option. And just start smashing the leg kick. A couple of those, jabbing at the hands, jabbing at the shield, maybe getting himself off center while he's shielding up, maybe trying to find better holes in the defense while he's off center where Gaethje can't really counter. If he's sitting there looking, trying to find ways around it in front of him, obviously he's in a position where he can get caught. Is he going to jab, shift off somewhere, get a great angle, which Ilia does a great job of, even when you've seen him attack Max, was able to attack him mid-combo, shift off to the side and fire a left hook. He's good at getting inside and creating just enough of an angle to fire still his shots and make it harder for you to counter. Is this going to be the approach? Give himself better angles to fire while he's not in danger and not giving Charles opportunities. I think that's going to be a good approach, but are there easy ways to find a finish for Ilia? No. These are going to be maybe a little bit harder. But as soon as Gaethje opens himself up, this is where I'm going to have my breakdown right here and tell you what I think of the fight. As soon as he tries to open up and let his hands go off, take the opportunity, I just believe Ilia is going to be too sharp and just catch him. I think he's safe enough and defensive enough to not fall into any of Justin Gaethje's traps. And then as soon as Gaethje opens up, game over. I think it could be that quick as soon as he does open himself up. And I think that's just bound to happen eventually. Main event, 5 rounds. Does Gaethje try and shell up, be very defensive, try and take him to deeper waters, take that power off Ilia, knowing how powerful he is, not giving him any opportunity to land, be very defensive, maybe draw the power out of him, maybe throw a leg kick, but be really defensive while I fire it. Is that going to be his approach? I don't know. I think it might be until he's in a position where he feels like he's forced to open up, or he just opens up thinking it's the time to do it, and then Ilia just catches him anyway. I think it's going to be a KO for Ilia. You can see he's going to be the favorite. He's the favorite for a reason. I think he's just going to be too much, and he's going to get the KO victory. And he could get the KO victory early rounds. If Justin Gaethje is quite defensive, you might see it go into the second round, maybe the third. But as soon as Gaethje opens up, you're going to see a finish. That's what I truly do believe. But I think Justin Gaethje showed me enough where he can be defensive and maybe not make it so easy as people think for Ilia to just catch him straight away. He's not as aggressive as people think. He is when he chooses to fire, but he's quite defensive before then. With Ilia, he's going to know to be defensive. So I think you're going to see a lot of shelling up. Maybe still putting pressure, still getting in a position where Ilia can fire, but defensive enough to just not give him clear shots. Does that wear Ilia down? Let's see. But my pick is going to be Ilia knockout in them first couple, maybe 3 rounds.